Hello everyone. It's my great pleasure to discuss with you the next Akron Symphony classical concert on Friday, November 18th. From the New World, the legacy of the spirituals. The Negro spirituals, by definition, are by anonymous composers and lyricists who lived during the time of slavery, a time of despair and bondage, but they speak to exactly the opposite in the American character. Feelings of hope, of love, of sacred faith, and of freedom. When Antonin Dvorak came to America to head up the new National Conservatory in New York, he looked at the application for his composition class from a young African-American man from New York State, Harry T. Burleigh. Burleigh didn't make it into Dvorak's class, presumably because his technical skills were not yet advanced enough. But Dvorak soon realized that this student, which he did accept to the school, had an extraordinarily beautiful hand. His penmanship, his orthography, his ability to copy out music clearly and beautifully was second to none. And before long, he was a frequent visitor, even sometimes presumably a guest, in Dvorak's household in New York. This was right at the time that Dvorak was composing the New World Symphony, soon to be premiered in Carnegie Hall. Burleigh sang for Dvorak frequently, and Dvorak came to look forward to introductions to new sacred songs, the Negro spirituals, in Burleigh's beautiful baritone voice. Ultimately, Burleigh became one of the earliest and most important arrangers and publishers of the Negro spirituals in concert versions. But his singing seems to have influenced Dvorak in his own writing, and the third subject of the New World Symphony's first movement has a striking resemblance to Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, something Dvorak acknowledged. The best-known theme from the New World Symphony, sometimes called Goin' Home, in lyrics created after the fact, also has a close resemblance to the character, nature, and sacred essence of the spirituals. As a setting for this concert, we've decided to include only works that are derived in part or in whole from the spirituals. The first work on the program is a beautiful string arrangement by Morton Gould, then a remarkable arrangement which is a simultaneous exposition of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot and a kind of English anthem setting for chorus. Beautiful work by R. Nathaniel Dett called The Chariot Jubilee. And finally, to close the first half of the program, a world premiere, a magnificent new work incorporating about a dozen spirituals, conceived by Chuck Myricks and realized by Jesse Ayers, two of our greatest musicians and composers in Northeast Ohio. Together they have compiled a beautiful sequence of spirituals that take us from despair into the fire of faith, and at last a beautiful outpouring of positive, loving feeling. It's also a setting for the young musicians of YEPAW, Youth Excellence Performing Arts Workshop, to have the opportunity to perform alongside the choristers of the Akron Symphony Chorus and the Akron Symphony Orchestra itself. So a grand setting that represents a coming together of community, the very essence of the idea of the spiritual. These beautiful songs now are important to all Americans. They're considered anthems of the American experience. We're delighted to represent that legacy and to extend it in important ways on Friday night, 8 p.m. at E.J. Thomas Hall. It will be a beautiful evening, and I hope you're able to take part in it.